Hi everyone. So I know a lot of you found my first video helpful for BOD's server setup, so I thought I'd do another video. I'll try and be quicker than the other one, but I was the first time doing it, so yeah. So this is Tjac's and with the fans Tsto server. So the download link is in the description, and it's https://github.com/tjac/tsto_server. So what you want to do is go code and download, or if you're in Linux, you can do git clone and then the path to that. So I've just downloaded the zip file. Apologies, my organization, my folders, I've been testing is quite bad. So I've downloaded it here, renamed it as demo just for the purpose of a demo. There's also an old one. So if I just extract that out, extract here, and it's extracted the master out. If I just master's in the folder, just call it demo for now. And if I click on that, so this is the server folder. The server is at the bottom. There's a requirements file, and there's a few other things that you need to set up. So if I just go through the guide, there's quite a useful guide, to be fair. It's quite comprehensive. It's at the bottom if you scroll down, and the first step is basically to have a copy of your own world. So you would save that town in the towns directory, which is here. In here you can see there's a sample one that's already been created. I'll probably just use that for the purpose of the video. Actually, I might just use another town just to show you. And basically, if you don't have a town, then you can leave the towns directory empty and it'll create a new world, or it's got a sample one when you download it from the GitHub. You can delete, or you can copy your own one over. So I'm going to basically just take my own town and then just copy it over. So I've got it backed up. I've just changed the name because it's named as my email address, and I'm just going to call it my test town. And then you can save it with no file extension is what it says. So it says if you change a file extension, the file might become unusable. Are you sure you want to change it? Just say yes, just ignore the message. If you have issues changing the file type, you can see type is file now. A lot of users don't have the file extensions enabled, so you click view and file name extensions, and then you can enable it. So I'll do that. And then if I just delete my town for now, just have my test town, and so that's the first step. So you've done the town already, and then the second step is to make a directory named gameassets in the servers directory, which is this, and copy all of the DLC to this directory. The Internet Archive has a copy, so I've just used BOD's DLC download link, and because I'm testing multiple servers, it's just easier for me to use that. And a good tip that is that basically one of the users has on Discord has taught me, is Tjac has basically taught me you can create a symbolic link, and that basically in Windows allows you to link to a current folder path that holds the DLC files. So in my example, and basically create a game assets folder, so it saves you copying files into separate folders if you want to host multiple game servers. You just have to save it once in one folder, and then you can use that as a reference, like a shortcut. So I'll quickly show you how to actually just do that actually. So yeah, credit goes to him on that actually. I've never heard of that before, so it's really cool to know that. So what you essentially want to do is this command here is mklink -d, and then quotes game assets, and then the path to where the DLC that you have already is saved. So in my example, if I quickly click on that and copy and paste that into there, you'll see that that's where I've saved the BOD's, basically the DLC file. So I want to go into the DLC folder once. So you'll have the DLC folder and then all the other the DLC folders. So I'm going to go in there once, and I want to copy this path and take a note of it. So that's what I've done here. So if I back out, what I then want to do is go into the main folder for the server, and I want to command into that server. I think you need admin permissions, so I'm just going to quickly do that and type in command prompt and do admin permissions. If you just give me 2 seconds. So I'm going to move this window over to this side. So mine's stored on the F drive, so if I do F:, it will move me into that directory. And what I want to do is I want to CD into that directory here. So CD, copy and paste that, and paste, and enter. Now you'll see that it's in the directory, so if you press dir, it will list all the files in that directory, which is the same as this. What you then want to do is you want to copy and paste this command. I'll put this in the description, and also put a description of the Python, and a few other things I'll cover along the way. So what you want to do is copy that. In the guide it will say to create a game assets folder, but I'm doing it this way, so I have to keep downloading it. So if I go back to the command prompt and open up the server window, just to show you, and if I paste that command and press enter, it will say symbolic link created for game assets, and it tells you where. So what it's done is, if you look at here, it's created a shortcut. If you click on that, that's actually the DLC files just basically shortcutted. So it saves you having to copy it, and it saves so much time. So thank you to Tjac for that. And if you make a mistake and you've accidentally named it incorrectly, you can just right click and delete, and it will just delete the actual reference. It won't delete the actual DLC files, the original ones. It will just delete it. So I can rerun it now, and it will just create it again, like it's done there. There you go. So that's a quick way of doing that. So that's your DLC files done, right? So that's step 2 done already. The next step is to install the requirement packages using the pip command, pip install -r requirements.txt. So that file itself is in this folder here. So if it's a text file that basically tells Python what to install that's required for the server, I believe. I'm not technical, but I'm learning stuff slowly. So you need all of these things here. So it installs that. So in Linux, I think that's the command, but in Windows, I found that the command for that is basically Python -m pip. Again, I put this in the description of the video. Python -m pip install -r requirements.txt. So what I can do is I can copy and paste that into this folder, and it will basically install the requirements required. So it's done that. You can see it says requirements already satisfied because I already have that installed on my system. Sometimes it will say module not found, error module named JWT as an example. All you have to do essentially is to basically type in Python -m pip install JWT. I just copy and paste that in there and enter. It will deal with that. It should already be installed. Yes, it's already installed on mine. And those are the main steps. If you struggle to basically download Python, I'll put it in the description. But all you do is you type Python in Python download in the web browser, and then there's Python download link, downloads, and you can download the latest, which is 3.13.1. So if I back out of that and go back to the folder, what you then want to do is install it. But sometimes Windows has issues, so in the installation, before you install it, when you click the run button, there is a advanced option to basically add the path of Python to Windows environmental variables, and that allows you to just run the Python command rather than going to the Python directory and running it, is my understanding again. If you forget to do that, it's not the end of the world. You can uninstall it and reinstall it, but you can also do it through Windows. So if you type in the search environment, it should be edit system environment variables, and it will give you a pop-up box where you can go advanced and then environmental variables. There's an option to set the variables just for this PC. So this PC itself, you've got multiple users, you can do a system-wide one. So if you then go to the path option, you can double-click that, and you can essentially add the path to where the Python installation is installed. It's normally users, the username, app data, local program files, Python 310, and then /scripts. So I normally add the path to the Python and then the scripts as well, and then you press OK and OK, and that should be it. That's all you need. So that basically covers the the actual Python part of it. So the next step, so I've done that. So the next step is to patch the APK. So if I just quickly, there's a link at the bottom called patch APK, which if you click that, you'll get various patches. You get one for Linux, you get the Python, and then you get the Windows GUI one. So I just use the Windows GUI one. You can download that. So I already, if I back out of that, I already had that saved here. So I've downloaded the APK file, the original one. It's been discussed before, but you can download it from Bod's link, or it's in the README here for APK Pure. I can't remember if APK Pure works, but it should do. If not, then use Bod's in his GitHub. So I've just named mine as tsto.apk, and then you've got the GUI patcher, which I've taken from the install. And you'll see two other variations. I've just been testing these. So what you want to do is take the original, because Bod's patcher doesn't work with Tjac's server method, because what it does is, if you look at the code itself, it basically adds a static // and you don't want that to be the case, because you want gameassets to be the folder that holds the directory for the DLC files. So what I'd recommend is take the original, keep the original, because you might need it for Bod's server. It's handy to have both servers, and take a copy of it. So I've got a copy here, and what I've done is already amended that. So what I want to do is open the original, and I want to go to line 200. So line 200, where it says, you can see it's add static. What I want to do is I want to delete everything up to new URL, and then you want to click save, or save as in my case. So that's what you need to do. So exactly like that, and that will prevent it from forcing the script to basically add static to it. So if I close that down, because I've already got that saved, I'll just quickly open my one. I actually comment my stuff just so I can easily find it, but it's there anyway. It's the same thing here. I just put some notes there. So what I want to do is I can double click that Python. You should just run it. If not, you can do Python. You can cd into the directory and do Python Windows GUI patcher.py, and it should open it up. So in here, what I want to do is I want to browse to the APK patch location, so the APK itself, the original. So I'll do that now. Let me just make sure my recording's, yeah, still recording, cool. So what I want to do is browse to that. And what I want to do in the new game server URL is put http:// and then my IP address. So without a // sorry, at the end. A lot of users have had to put the port number, but I haven't had to do that because I amended the GUI patcher for it. So the second one, you want to copy and paste the exact same thing, but instead you want to put / and game assets, because it tells it where to point and update the links to the DLC folder. So game assets like that. Then you want to check dependencies. So I found a lot of users also having issues because they downloaded the Java JDK version. What you want to download is the MSI executable link, which I'll provide in the description again, and that should solve the issue. If you've installed the other version, then remove it and then reinstall this. And what you can do is click check dependencies, and it should say all dependencies are installed. Again, you might need to add Java open JDK. Need to stop calling it Java. Open JDK to the environmental paths, and you do the exact same thing as you did with Python. And then what you want to do is click patch APK. And what it will do is it should open up a window with, it might take some time, so I'm going to quickly just wait, and it will pop up eventually. It looks like the patcher is frozen, but it's actually creating all these files in the directory of the patcher itself. So if I just wait for that to pop up, you can see it's doing stuff there, and it's installing, and it's downloading whatever it needs to do. You can ignore this message about pip being outdated. I've not had an issue, but there's an update if you want to run it. And you can see it's doing its thing here. So I am going to pause the video here because I already explained this in the last video. See, this is the longest step. It normally takes 5 minutes, so don't touch the screen. It will say in a pop-up box to say it's finished, and I'll be back when it's nearly done. So you can see it's doing the last few steps. Just wait, it's going to take some time, up to 5 minutes. So I'll pause the video again. Okay, so it will say build app completed successfully, and it will come up with a box here, and it will say patch APK created Tsto-app patch.apk. So I'm just going to leave that open for now. Actually, I'll just press OK. And what you can see is it's put the path in and kept game assets in there. Let me now, the next step is so you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've done the patching. Now you're on to installing it into BlueStacks, so it's just an easy thing. So there's the file. I've got BlueStacks open. If I drag that in there, it will just install it, and then it will say installing, and it will install. So that's the installation done. So now the final step is to basically run the server, and that's that here. Sorry, one more step I forgot actually. There is actually the 7th step, which is to basically edit the config file. So if I go back to the, let me just find the server. There is a config.json file, and you basically edit it. So it's here, and I want to basically edit that to my IP address, which is this line 15. So if I just do that now, and I click save, you can see various other things like game assets. My town is the active town, the town's directory, the DLC directories, all in here, and there's a whole bunch of like configurations you can do, which is kind of cool, to be fair. And then if I just go into towns, I've called it my test town. Let's just call it something more fun. I love Marge. There you go. So you got I love Marge. So I've called it that. So yeah, the final step is to basically save that when you've edited it with the IP address in the exact same format as this. Let me then, what I want to do is run Python Tsto_server pi. So I have that directory already open. So what I want to write is that. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. It's just easier. And paste, and that will hopefully run the server, which it's doing here. It says it's active. I got rid of it. It says it's active here and it's running, and there's a log here, debugger pin, sorry. It's attempted to load my town, but it's not found it because it's not called my town. I've deleted my town, but it will create it. So I've got that. Now if I launch the APK itself, so I've done everything. Just take noting in my head that I've done everything. That's all the steps done. Now if I run the Tapped Out app, my computer's been really slow, so you just have to bear with. See, it's picked up the game. It's running the DLC files, it's picking them up. Ignore the green parts. Just fill this out with anything. So if I just do, I don't know, accept. Additional, so it asks you to download, press allow, and don't touch the screen. Just do not touch anything. Wait for it to fully download here. And then I'll show you how to load your town. If you don't have a town, then you just click tap to play anonymously when it's done. If you do have a town, I'll show you in a second how to load your town, and it's when you click this EA login bit, and I'll show you in a second. So let me pause the video while it's running the Matrix thing at the moment. It reminds me of Matrix when it runs fast, so I'll pause it when it's close to finishing. So it's still pulling, just give it some time. Cool, so it's nearly done. I'm just going to let it finish. I have actually didn't think about it. I have quite a big town, so it might take some time to load. So if you have a big town, it could take some time to load. So you just be patient and just wait. So it's nearly done. So if you don't have a town, you can tap to play anonymously. If you have kept the sample town, which is in the download, then you can I'll show you what you can do now. So you click EA login, email. What you want to do in the email is, as it says in the description as well. So as an example here, my town is called, where have I saved it? Saved my file somewhere, there you go. So my town is called here, and it's named, so you can see it created the blank town. But I've got I love Marge, so what I want to do is literally type the same thing. So I love Marge, and then you need to treat it as like a domain. So at, like let's say at, and hotmail.com, so at, and it needs to be dot, so a.a, sorry. So it'll be I love Marge at a.a, exactly like it says in the description. I'll show you in a second, and then press enter. So you got it here, I love Marge at a.a, and then login. You then enter any random code, so I'm just going to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be any code, and verify. And what it'll do is, I think they're going to fix this potentially, is it comes on this loading screen again. So if you just enter any date of birth and then press confirm, then that should load your town. It should show up in the window that's loaded your town as well. So if I click tap to play anonymously, that will load my town, and you will see it loading my town. You can see it's basically loaded my land ID, which is, this is my origin ID, and it's loading my town. So that's the I love Marge town. There you go, it's attempting to load I love Marge, and that's it. And it then does that, and it loads your currency as well. And I think it loads your currency, I'm not too sure, but you'll see in a minute. And eventually it will load the town, and that's it. That's honestly literally, and I'll show you one more thing before the end of the video. Just waiting for this to finish. I don't want to touch this just because I don't want it to mess up. So eventually it will load. It's a big town, so just be wary that big towns do take some time to load. If it was a smaller town, it would be a lot faster than this. But yeah, mine's pretty much full in terms of like the size of the map and the items and the characters unlocked and all that kind of stuff. So just give it a bit of time. And there you go, it's loaded your town. So that's my town, and yeah, that's the town I'm running at the moment. God's made an appearance. What also the README says at the bottom is a really good README. Is you can run old events, so you can read through this, but you can run past events. But to navigate it if you navigate to the server basically at this IP address, so you would do http://19, my IP address, so I'm just going to put that in there, and then / dashboard. So just like that, you can see I've replaced the X's with the IP and press enter. Here you can basically amend the event, which is really cool, and Tjac released this not too long ago, and you can submit. Go back to normal play. There's instructions. I'm not going to go through the instructions, but there's instructions because the videos will get quite long, and sort of advice on what to do if there's any issues. But yeah, let me know what if you have any issues in the video, and join the Discord, and people will help you out. And yeah, if you have any issues, and it might be specific to your computer setup, or you've done something wrong, or something like that. But yeah, that was it. So that's the setup of Tjac's and the fans, basically the Simpsons Tapped Out server. Thanks for watching, guys.